if you don't understand, I'll give you a couple of minutes just to digest it. If you are not able to understand, start from slide number 45, go till slide number 49. Just 4 slides that I have covered, but just go through slide number 45 to 49. So if you are able to grasp everything that I just said, if not, let me know. I'll gonna put a repeat on it. Oh, let me share that with you guys. I was sharing, so I'll share files. I'm going to unshare my screen. Now I'm clicking the share, and now in the screen that you're seeing right now that I'm sharing, at the top right corner, you will see a download button. Please click on that. So you can download it, the whole slides, the whole set of slides will be downloaded. Yeah, it downloaded for me. So let me know, Lena, if you are not able to. Okay. Okay. Thank you. Slide number 45 to 49. So now my screen is shared. Let's go and look at few more concepts here. So in slide number 48, as you are seeing, I'm shifting the items. 10 to 10 is now replaced with 20. 20 is now replaced with 30 with 30, and then 40, and then 50. So this shifting has to happen. When this shifting happens, the worst case scenario becomes big O of n, because it has to go through each item for the shifting purposes. That's what I was trying to say there. Okay, so this is not an array list that I'm going to talk about right now. This is a purely an array topic that I'm going to just sharing with you right now. How to declare array in Java. As you are seeing, it is declared like this. It is not an array list. Array list is very similar to array, as I mentioned, but it is not same declaration. This is purely an array that I showed you when I was on the topic of when I was on this topic, showing you just how array works. This is not a letter based or so. This is an array. Let's say this is an array of integers 1, 0, 1, 1, 0, 0, 1. This is an array of integers. Length of the array is 5, starting from index 0, stopping at index 4. So how many items are there? You are declaring 3 items. So it means there will be how many items? 3 items. How you will start? 0, 1, and stopping at 2. There's a small, not an error. This is the small part that I'm not thinking that it is important to go to, but I will still say about it. I'll not stress too much about it, but you say that this is how you will declare an array in Java. So if it's an integer array, it will be int numbers is equals to new int and how much boundary or how many number of elements that you want in this. So this is how you declare array. If it would be a float or decimal point array, how you will declare it? Integer. Instead of integer, it will be float numbers or float numbers, whatever the name of the variable is equals to new float 3. Decimal point, decimal, brackets open, bracket close, decimal number array, name, and then equals to new decimal 3. Now here is the small thing. Array has to be always be referenced with the index number that you want to see. Currently, this is not an error, but there is a problem here that I'm not mentioning the index number. I should be mentioning something like this. If I'm just going to use this as a, maybe I'll just use a notepad here. If I have an array and I want to reference its element, I should be referencing the elements like, so the maximum size of an array is 3, and the size of an array is equals to 3. Number of the elements, the number of the item number 1, number 0, item number 1, which is actually in the number 0. Let's say I want to give it a value, let's say 3, or maybe just something else, 10. Okay. So first item, I assigned it a value of 10. Second item, I assigned it a value of 50. Third item, I assigned it a value of 150. That's totally acceptable. Problem in that one slide that I wanted to show was that it says number, system.out.println number. If I would be, and I'm shorthanding system.out.println, I'll just say s.o.p, system.out.println, or print. If I write something like this and say system.out.print, I'm shorthanding it because I'm not willing to write that much length. This is correct because I wanted to see what's the value of the item at index number 0. So it will print out system.out.print number at, I want to see what's the value stored at index number 0. What is that value? 10 is stored. If I going to change it to 1 or number 2, it will respectively return me 50 or 150 if I use a system.out.print. Problem there in that slide is that it just says number. Well, number is this big chunk. This is the whole array. This is called number. Yes, index numbers is good, but this is a whole thing. This whole thing is a number. So it does not know what do you mean. It says, what do you mean? Are you referring to this? Are you referring to this? Are you referring to this? But in Java, it will not throw you the error saying, what do you mean? It just says, I don't know what do you mean, but I will tell you that this item is located in the memory location. This whole item is located in the memory location here. This will be the starting address of it in the memory. So you will see a garbage data here, and this is the garbage data. It automatically showed you, yes, I understand what you're trying to do, but this is not the proper way to show it. You either give me the index number and I will be all okay. At the moment, array is currently set as empty. So if I put numbers of 0 here, it will show me a data of 0, which we'll see in the next slide. But if I'll just say refer to the numbers, it will give me this garbage. Why garbage? Because it does not know what you want. So it is giving you the address where it is located in the map. And that address has no meaning for us because it's useless. And by the way, this I means that it is showing you that this is an array of integers located at this address location. located at this address location. Let's move to the slide number 52 first. So that's what I mean. I think the line is kind of cut off, but if I am to print using the loop all the items in this string, in this array, the array is declared, but the line is kind of cut off. Sorry for that. But if you are going to print out something like this, system.out.print value at index 0 plus comma to separate that out, then the value at index number 1, and then the value at index number 2, it will print out something like this on the screen: 0 comma 0 comma 0. And the reason being, you haven't given it a value. So the first thing that you need to do is to assign the array the value. 10 at index number 0, 20 at index number 1, and 30 at index number 2. So you explicitly assign each index the value. The other thing that you can do, assign the value to the array, is by running a loop. How can I assign the value by running a loop? Obviously, you will run a loop, a for loop or a while loop, whichever loop you prefer. You will start with a for loop. For I is equals to 0, I is less than 3, I plus plus. Instead of I less than 3, what else I can put? Yeah, numbers dot length, correct? So I'm just shouting it out loud, not writing it. I'm just writing the loop for you in the air. So for I is equals to 0, I is less than 3, I plus plus. Or for I is equals to 0, I is less than numbers dot length. Numbers dot length will return me 3 anyways, colon I plus plus. And then I can just put a value 10, 20, 30 at each iterations. Can you write a small program to fill up the array of 3 numbers, just like you're seeing on the screen, with the value 10, 20, and 30 with the help of loop, and then paste the answer to me in the chat window? A very simple program to create an array, to create an array like this, exactly like this, but instead of hard coding the values and indexes like this, using a loop, fill up this array with 10, 20, and 30. Please write that program for me. I don't want you to print those values. Printing is another story, but just fill up the array of numbers with 10, 20, and 30 using the loop. So what's the progress so far? Let me know. Yeah, yeah. All right. So you want me to do it? Very easy problem for me. I think if you are thinking of if else, don't try to go into that. I'm going to call this program, let's say, array fill. I just array fill is just that I'm going to create that.   . 。  . 。 . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . . Then I'm in the main method. I'm going to declare int, and I want an array of 3 numbers that will be named as numbers is equals to new int 3 items in this array that are there. So now I created an array of 3 numbers. Pretty easy and straightforward. Let's get this right. Then for I is equals to 0, less I is less than 3, or I can put numbers dot length colon I plus plus. And I need to declare I as well. So I can just do it here, int. And in the loop, body of the loop is currently empty. That's why it is showing me the error, but that's not a problem. In a moment, I'm going to say, let's open up the bracket and close it for the loop of the body of the loop, and then put some code here. So if I will be you, how I will be putting the values in it, numbers of index number, because the index number will be incrementing with the help of I will just going to put I multiply by yes, I multiply by 10. That's it. But there is a small problem, just a small problem that I need to mention it out to you. Problem is when the value of I is 0, when the God, it's just giving me okay. When the value of I is 0, problem is that 0 multiplied by 10 will be 0. So first index will be problem. Then 1 multiplied by 10 is 10. This will be so I'm running 1 behind. So what I'm going to do here, very easy to fix. I would place I plus 1, then multiply it by 10. In that way, when the value of I will be 0, it will become 1. Yeah, I's values is 0. It will be 0 plus 1 will be 1. 1 multiplied by 10 is 10. And that's it. I'm done. I'm not printing it out right now, but let's do that after the loop. So the filler part is good. Just for the printing part, let's just copy and paste it. System dot out dot print, and then just print not I want to print numbers value at each location of I, and then it will print out. And let's just do print ln, so then we have separated it out properly. So now if I run this program, a very simple easy program which I asked you to make is ready. Array fill, run this program. 10, 20, and 30. So array is filled in the first loop, then that array got printed out in the next loop. This is our satisfaction part. This part is our satisfaction. That part already filled out the array. I just wanted to see the values by myself, by my own eyes. That's why I needed another loop to do that. In fact, if I'll just put this value in here in this loop, I would not need that loop because while I'm filling the array, I wanted to print it out as well at the same time. So once you are done putting the value, uh, once you are done once you are done putting the value, please show me that value which you just put in. So it will immediately print that value. So I didn't even need to do the second loop. Each time I have to traverse through, I would need a loop. But in this case, I have shorthanded it further. So if I'll run this program one more time, 10, 20, and 30. So while I was filling up, I actually printed it out immediately after. Is that good? So either I will print explicitly one by one, which is not the ideal way, or I can just print it while it's doing that. The other way is also to use this method array.toStrings numbers. So let's copy this line. I cannot copy this line, but let's just put it aside. The other way I can do this is this. Once the array is filling up, once the array is filled up, let's just do that. Let the array filled up. Let's see what it says. System.out.print. Show me the whole syntax, please. Yeah, I'll check your code, Lena, as well. I don't know whether have you looked at my code or not, but I just okay. You taking input from the, yeah, you are taking input, but I'll check that after, just after I'm done. Arrays.toString number. Let's see if it prints out. I'll need to add this utility at the top. So once this is added, it is all okay. So once I did that, and I'm going to print it out. So I didn't, okay. $10, $20, and $30. The only thing is that I didn't have to go through the loop. This arrays utility package that I have, it converts this array into a string. That's okay. And then consider that as a string with this comma separated values, and then it printed it out. And I want to go here. I don't know how to somehow show me the split. No, not split. The output screen, because it does not show me the output screen, and that's because if I want to go back and look at it, it does not show me really quick. I have to run the program each time. I don't know where I can go and find it. What is the shortcut key of it? I just don't uh, see that. And I think it's very convenient to find it, but it's just it's not in my eyesight. It's not there. So, but you saw that it printed out 10, 20, 30 as well. Let's see what Lena is doing. So this is my program. I trickfully, without taking the user's input, I trickfully entered the data in it. But if you are okay to take the input from the user 10, 20, 30 by typing, by asking the user to type it, that's fine with me. So this time I took the input and I immediately printed that while it was taking the input by hard coded input. But if it is not an hard coded input, obviously Lena is using uh, the keyboard input from that, and that's okay. And then I use either system arrays dot toString method to print the array, or I can use the loop, two loops to one loop to input, one loop to the output. Or while taking the input, I will be putting the. So there are, as you can see, there is no one good solution to a problem. There are several solutions that are available. One that Lena made, one that I made, right? So there are things that can fall into different ways. Let's put Lena's code in here. All I need to do is to change this name to arrayfill because that's the name of my class. Other than that, this looks like her program. So what she is doing, she is declaring an array and then she's asking for the input by going through the loop instead of me as a hard coding, and then she printed out the numbers like this. So going through, so loop can be used for taking the input, loop can be used to print them out as well. You can either put them individually like this, or you can use another loop and then print them individually, or you can use this last method which we just saw, arrays.toString numbers. It will just throw all the values on this, on it, without having to even loop. I didn't have to even loop in this. So that's the benefit of this line, that I didn't have to even loop. But that's an advanced part. So I'll take that as an advanced part. I would not even remember all these different methods that are out there. I will be just going through one by one, which I usually like to go through because it gives me a little bit more control. More control. One by one, more control. But new methods have been developed, so that's okay. Or you can hard code the values like this: int numbers 10, 20, and 30, and then put a semicolon at the end. Semicolon is missing. So yeah. And then you use array.toString method. So just 2 lines to solve your problem. Even better. Hard coded values, no loops required. It just put that hard coded value. And the good thing is it automatically detects what's the length of this array. It automatically, so you did not even put that there will be 3 items, and you never put at the start of it anyways. But even if you don't put it here or don't put it at the next side of the bracket, because remember I did put, when I was declaring like this, I did put number 3 by putting the size. Here I even don't even need to mention the size of an array. It will automatically detect that 10, 20, and 30 will make the size of an array as 3. And that's it. Array.toString does the same thing, which it is supposed to do. So I can print the size of an array. It will automatically detect the size of the array is 3. No output right now. Yeah, size of the array is 3, and this is the items. Again, how you will learn all this or memorize this or keep in your brain? Type the program. You can also declare the arrays using this way. So this is the first method. This is not the array list. This is the array. Array list we learned in programming, game programming. But it's not the point that all those things that you are learning from Java's perspective, you are learning array, you are learning array list, and now you are learning this way of declaring an array as well, which is coming in the next slide. All these three different ways of declaring the array is just a variety of how to do things. Really doesn't matter if you do this way, this way, or this other way, or use the array list, as long as you know how to retrieve the data or how to change the data from empty array to what the value you want it to be. So the array of numbers with the length of size 3 that you declared, and then you can say numbers dot insert at index number 0. It will automatically detect that I need to fill the array at index number 0, so 10 will go there. Then you do an again insert, and then you will have the value 20 and then the 30. So some of the times, some of the things are not in the scope of the program of this course, but while we are doing this, it's just a one line to explain, so I will going to be doing that. So all you need to do is use the insert method and you can fill up this array. There's another way that you can fill up this array, not just by saying dot insert dot insert dot insert. You will just use a loop and use a dot insert method, and all you will need to do is I plus 1 multiply by 10, and then use the insert method as well. So there are so many ways to do one thing, and when you want to print the whole array, you can use number.print. Basically, behind the scenes, this numbers.print method go through and will have a loop to print the values. So I am also in the infinite loop of going through this class, making circles around this class to make my lecture deliver in the light. But other than that, okay, so these are different methods. And by the way, if you say length is 3, then you will be actually going to 0, 1, 2, and 3. So the length is 4 because it automatically gives this index as 0. So some things to remember. And then again, the output is there, so you can go over these slides. I'm coming to the end of these slides anyways. So if you have an array and you have an item, you can remove the index number 3 very easily. So you can just say, I want to remove index number 3, 0, 1, 2, and 3. The value is 40 will be removed when you use this. And if you want to show the value at index, what is the index of the value 10? It is 0. So this way of declaring an array gives you a little bit more flexibility, meaning that, for example, if you have an array that has 10, 20, and 30 and 40 as a value, not the index, as a value, when you will say that, hey, can you tell me what index this value 10 is assigned to? So it's the other way around. Usually we say, what is the value of index number 0? It will give me 1. But there's another way that I can say, what is the value? I'm giving you the value. Can you tell me what is the index? It can tell you the index. There's no such benefit of it, but it is what it is. It is giving me the benefit. Now it raises another question, which is again not in the scope of this course. What if the 10 is here and 10 is at the index number 0, 1, and 2, at index number 2 as well. Then what you will not have an issue. It will just tells you the very first occurrence of it. It will not tell you the second or third occurrence. So keep that in mind. Yeah. So it is going to remove, and remove does not show anything because remove is a remove. But when you say what is the index of value number 10, it said 0. Some of the array operations. If, for example, by accident or by making it full, if there's some item that is not available in that list 10, 20, and 30, and 40, and you ask it what is the index of 100, it will say nay, -1, meaning that there is none. So -1 means it did not find that item in that list of an array. So today we are done with this chapter. So we looked at the time complexities of all that nature. Then we worked on the arrays. And we worked on the arrays so far. You have to have a very distinguished set in your brain. Array list is the one concept that you have already learned for game programming. That asset of array will stay with you as a part of your learning in Java. This arrays that we learned today this morning is explicit, very built-in, very basic built-in type of Java arrays. This one is basically was there since C++ was there. C++ was there. This way of declaring the array. With the inclusion of Java, they have given us numerous other ways to print out, to hard code the values, and even this new way, array of numbers, and then you can create the array like this as well. So there are 2 to 3 different ways, and who knows, there are a couple of more which I'm in the oversight. But you go to websites, Stack Overflow, and other websites where you go and learn different programming language, you will find everybody is doing things different way. But as long as you are making sure that you are not writing the bad code which is taking longer time than usual, then and you are understanding the time complexity, your code is good. Okay, so we are done with this. So if I switch back to the book side now, this is the additional topic about linear complexity. So I will urge you to go over these topics of quadratic complexity, linear complexity, logarithmic complexity, which obviously I gave you insight about the binary search. Don't worry about the code at the moment. Look at how binary search helped you find a particular number. And this is the mathematical part, which I'm not going to solve, but this is the mathematical part. They are showing you that this is how faster it can maybe. And then exponential complexity, which is slower. And they have made 1 or 2 lines programs for you just to explain the concept. You don't need to worry about coding side of it, but as a software programmers, you need to worry about coding as well. So when I say don't worry about coding part, coding is a worry when you graduate. So we understood the diagrammatical concepts diagrammatically. The next thing for you to do is read the book to understand and digest all these concepts. Third part will be the coding part. And that's why always say about this course: diagrams, book reading to understand the concept more clearly, and then comes the pseudocode or algorithm, and then writing the code. 3 or 4 parts attached to this course each time you do something in it. And it helps you organize, because for a bigger problem that you are going to solve, you need to have better concepts. And this course is developing you the concepts. We're going to be developing. We are already in the third or fourth class right now. So good for you guys. I leave this reading portion for you to read for the rest of the class. Chapter 1 is complete for data structures. All right. See you guys.